What's going on, my exotic family? It's your boy Dre. Welcome back to another video. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. Thank you for joining. So today's video, we're actually going to talk about one of my more complicated species, I guess you could say. We're going to be talking Dwarf Caimans today, and I'm going to not only give you guys an update of my Dwarf Caiman, but we're going to talk their care. What does it take to keep a Dwarf Caiman? It takes a lot more to keep a Dwarf Caiman than any other reptile that I have. So this is probably going to be somewhat of a longer video because I really want to get in depth, digging deep with these guys. From what I've seen, at least, there's not a whole bunch about these guys on YouTube or just the internet in general. So I kind of just wanted to do my part as a Caiman owner and just see what else I can provide for you guys. New information and just go from there. So hope you guys enjoy the video. Stay tuned. Alright everybody, welcome back to the video. Now before we go ahead and jump right into it, I do just want to throw out there that I am not an expert, I am not a professional. This is solely my opinion, as well as these are not beginner pets. These animals require a lot, they get huge, and they can be very temperamental. So I just want to throw that out there, that I'm in no way, shape, or form saying you should go get a Caiman because I'm doing a care video. It's not what I'm saying. I'm simply providing you guys with education on how I take care of mine. So let's get to it. So before we actually get to the education part, this is let's see if you focus. There we go. This is Gizmo, aka Lockjaw. This is my Schneider's Dwarf Caiman. Unfortunately, I'm not going to have him out for the entire video because you can see he's a little guy, but he is still a work in progress. He or she, I'm sorry, still a work in progress. So I'm not going to have him out for the entire video. But I did want to, can't do a Caiman care video and not show off my little guy. So here he or she is. Like I said, this is Gizmo. Sometimes on Instagram, you'll see me refer to him or her as Lockjaw. So there they are. And I just wanted to give you guys a visual so you guys can see how they're doing. So definitely got some spunk, some attitude in there. So we can get the camera to focus again. There we go. So they're not happy. So let me go ahead and get them back and then we can get on with the video. All right, everybody, welcome back to the video again. Hope you guys enjoyed seeing Gizmo. So I wanted to, like I said, talk Dwarf Caiman care. So Gizmo is, as a lot of you know, a smooth-fronted Caiman, but they have multiple names. So there's smooth-fronted Caiman, there's Schneider's Dwarf Caiman, and then of course their scientific name, which is Paleosuchus trigonatus. Now these guys are sometimes confused with their very closely related cousins, smaller cousins, the Cuvier's Dwarf Caiman or the Paleosuchus palpebrosus, I think it is. So they are the two smaller species. But today, we're going to be talking about Gizmo. Like I said, smooth-fronted Caiman, Schneider's Dwarf Caiman. So, now that we got the naming out the way, let's talk about the origin of these guys. Where are these guys native to? Where are they from? So, that's a lot of the animals that are in the pet trade. These guys are from South America. More so the Orinoco River, the Amazon River area. As you can guess, with them being crocodilians, they are aquatic species. So that is where they're native to. They live heavily in the water, but they do come out on the land. So I guess we can kind of just caveat right to the description of these guys. So with Dwarf Caimans, they come out fairly small. As you can see, Gizmo is a very young Dwarf Caiman. So you can imagine that they have a lot of predators in the wild. So I mean, there's jaguars, there's birds of prey, there's other crocodilians that will just chomp these guys up as babies. So for protection, these guys actually have these very rigid, bony scales and plates and osteoderms, basically. So that it helps protect them, gives them that layer of protection from that. As a baby, probably wouldn't do too much. However, as they grow older, it's more like armor. And then down their tail, specifically Schneider's Dwarf Caimans, they have a very short tail, but down the base of their tail, they'll have what's called scutes. And as they grow bigger, the scutes will grow bigger and harder, which also helps to protect them. Alrighty, so like I stated, these guys are crocodilians. They are primarily nocturnal, but they do come out on land, like I said. So now we can talk about feeding. For them, feeding is very, very, they eat a lot. So as babies, they're somewhat insectivores, but not quite. It just kind of depends on your particular individual animal. But for the most part, they will eat superworms, they will eat dubia roaches, they will eat crickets, they will eat pretty much anything that you give them, they will at least try. I know Gizmo's favorite is superworms and crayfish. So at least he's eating something, with the occasional pinky mouse here and there. Excuse me. Now as adults, these guys are going to want more of the whole prey items. So mice, rats, quail, bird, and sometimes raw meat. Sorry about, I just ate dinner, but whatever. But sometimes raw meat. The raw meat shouldn't be their staple. However, they will eat it, and they will eat shrimp as well. So they have pretty much a wide variety of things that they will eat, and they should always be offered a variety. Babies usually eat every 1 to 2 days. Gizmo will eat every day for me, so I'm happy for that. And then as adults, it's usually 1 to 2, sometimes 3 times a week. So just like most bigger lizards, you want to slow them down as they get bigger, just so they're not overweight and obese. Alrighty, so now we can talk about housing, which is very important. So these guys as adults can reach I'm not gonna say a maximum, but these guys as adults can reach up to 5 feet, males being bigger. That is huge. And although these guys are considered Dwarf Caiman, they still have that ability to get pretty big. It's like an aquatic tegu, basically, just with more attitude. So these guys, with them being mostly aquatic, they still do require a land area. So they do have to have a land area because it will come out and bask. So Gizmo does have a land area. I actually just redid it. Used to be just this huge, big, flat rock, but I actually changed it around, and now it's just a couple bricks stacked up on top of each other. Then he has the Basking Light. The reason I switched it is because this rock that I had in there was like freaking, it was huge, and it had to be like 80 pounds. And I had it propped up on bricks so he could go under it, treat it like a little cave, you know, get a little, you know, just hide and, you know, do his thing, whatever. The only problem is it worked too good, so if I needed to feed him or pull him out, he would hide under there, and I couldn't get to him. So it was one of those things where like I made the tank look too good, and then the hides worked too well, so I redid it. And I'm not trying to take his hiding place away. However, there would be times where I couldn't get him to eat for me because he would just stay under there. And I wanted to make sure he was eating properly. So it's been like this for like 2 weeks now. And now I can actually get him to come up on the platform for me and eat, which is great. So I'm happy about that. But like I said, these guys do need a basking area, although they are primarily aquatic. They are nocturnal, like I stated before, so they will come up and bask at night. So what I do is I'll switch out his, he has a mercury vapor, which is basking and UVB, but I'll switch it out at night and get a heat emitter so that way he can still come up and still get warm. So speaking of heat, the basking area I keep Gizmo is right around 93. These guys usually like it 90 to 95, and then the water I keep right around 80. So 70 to 80 is the temp for the water, so I keep him right around 80, and I do that by using a water heater, so that's very important. So now, speaking of the water, how do we keep it clean? Obviously, just like a turtle or a fish tank, you want to get a filter. It's obviously gonna have to be either a canister filter, which is the filter that sits under the tank. You have tubes that reach up, but for Gizmo's enclosure, that would not work because the water is too low. So I have a Fluval U4, which is a fully submersible filter. I stick it all the way in the water and it filters the water for me. His tank is 6 foot, 120 gallons, but I only have about 50 or 60 so gallons in there, and the filter I have is rated for 70, so a little bit overkill, but not too much. It keeps the water decently clean for me. I'm pretty, you know, I'm pretty satisfied with it. So Next to the filtered water, I do keep it planted. Fake plants, of course. I mean, you can do real plants. I actually just ordered some duckweed since I took the big rock away. I still wanted him to get some type of cover so he feels secure. So I ordered some duckweed and I'm going to sprinkle that in there once it comes in. So I'm very excited for that. Look out for updates on that on Instagram. That is coming soon. And if you don't follow my Instagram, what are you doing? Make sure you go to my Instagram, DW Exotics, DWXOTICZ. Give me a follow, check out my page. We blowing up out here and I appreciate the support. So I keep it planted with just fake plants just to kind of give it that Amazonian look, I guess. And then I use just natural, just kind of like river stone is what it is. I bought it from like Home Depot and I rinsed it really well. And it seems to work. I like it. So in the Amazon, we all know that there is fast moving water, and if you read up on these guys, you'll see that these guys don't like stagnant water. So what I do is I have two power heads, one on each side of the filter. That way he has an area where the water is moving, so it creates a current for him. Not only does it create a current for him, it makes me happy because I don't have stagnant water. There's water constantly being moved around in the aquarium, so whatever water is on this side of the tank gets pushed back over here to be filtered. So then you just create this even flow circulation of water, so it's all being filtered evenly, and then you have clean water and a happy caiman. So on top of the filter, the heater, and keeping the water clean, it's recommended you change the water once a month, just like an aquarium or a turtle tank, like I said. However, I'm kind of just OCD about it, so I do every 2 weeks because of how much I feed him. Like I said, even with him and feeding him in here, I keep crayfish and feeder fish on hand in the tank for him, so he always has something to eat. So you can imagine the water gets messy because I'm feeding him, he's pooping, and then I'm feeding the fish and the crayfish while they're in there because they're helping create, keep the ecosystem going, and they're pooping. So the filter can't do everything. It's gonna do everything it can, but you still have to make sure you clean and maintain the aquarium. So as you can see, guys, and it's not to scare you guys, this is an all-around care video. I wanted to dig deep and kind of give you the care video from my point of view. I've seen a couple, but like I said, there's not a lot of information. These guys are a lot of work, and it's not a pet for everybody. They get huge. They are very temperamental. They do not like people. So all they want to do is eat and to be left the hell alone, basically. So I mean, that's pretty much it for these guys. They require a lot. Between the 13 snakes, the tarantula, the scorpion, and then the 4 lizards, it's a lot of work in here, but the caiman alone is a lot of work, and this guy's gonna grow. He's gonna get huge. So if you guys can imagine the work that I'm gonna have to put in for this guy, can imagine the type of enclosure he's gonna need. So for those of you that are watching, that are thinking about getting a Dwarf Caiman, please listen carefully. Do your research. Make sure you are prepared for everything, because these guys are by no means an easy pet. These guys are by no means a beginner pet. They are for the advanced keeper, or someone looking for a challenge that can afford and maintain safely a Dwarf Caiman. So, just looking through my notes here, making sure I didn't miss anything. I know I didn't go over every single thing because I don't know every single thing about these guys, and that's the beauty of reptile keeping. You guys know reptile keeping, I'm all about educating yourself, gaining that knowledge, making sure that you are up to date on your education. Things change rapidly, things change daily, so I wanted to share this with you guys. And I hope you guys enjoy it. I don't talk about the caiman a lot because, as you can see, he's still a work in progress, so I don't like stressing him out too much. I still do short handling sessions, which you can check those out on Instagram as well. But I hope this serves as a care video to someone out there. On top of more and more important research, like I stated, I am not an expert. These guys get huge, they're a lot of work, they are temperamental, and they are not for the beginner keeper, which kind of sucks though, because they're, for what they are, in my opinion, they're too cheap. I think, was it, Gizmo I got for like 300 bucks. That is cheaper than some of my snakes, which I feel like for me is a problem. It's like a lot of the animals that shouldn't be the easiest to get are. So, but anyways, this is not a negative video. Like I said, this is a care video. That is literally how I care for my Caiman. If you can do all of that, then you should be able to successfully maintain a Dwarf Caiman. Whether it's the Snyder's Dwarf Caiman or the Cuvier's Dwarf Caiman, they are both to be taken serious and are not beginner animals. I can't stress that enough. Please do your research. That is like my underlying message in every video. Do your research. But above all of that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys for watching. If you stayed to the end, thank you, because I know it's a long video. But these guys, they deserve a long video because they have quite a bit going on with them. They need a lot of care. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Feel free to ask questions. Feel free to drop some knowledge on me. Like I said, I don't know everything. If you have a Dwarf Caiman and you know more about them than I do, drop some knowledge in the comments. We can talk about it. We can throw ideas back and forth. Let me know. Stay healthy, stay clean, stay exotic.